Alright guys, what's up here? I am substantially late to this party here, but I've been wanting to do this for a couple months now. I've just been putting it off because I keep getting all these other videos going on. So I wanted to do this metal tag, even though everybody else did this like 7 or 8 months ago. I don't care. I decided better late than never with the counsel of my buddy Hugh Morgan. So what we're listening to in the background today is Tyler Childers' Country Squire. My girlfriend's over here painting her nails. We have her sister's wedding on Saturday, so she's doing all that fun stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with it. So there's 20 questions here. Some dude named the Rock Stout started this. He will be linked in the description. So the first question is a band spoiled by the vocals. And I could think of nothing better than Sweden's Lake of Tears. This record came out in 1994 on Black Mark Productions. This is kind of gothic, doom, metal types of stylings, but it's also got a little bit of sludgy elements to it here and there. And musically, it's really, really cool. I could definitely see like fans of Catatonia liking this, but the vocals are an absolute atrocity against all things good. It's just like this drunken yell shout, which is part of the thing I think that makes me think it sounds like sludge metal. Like, it's somewhat harmonic, but at the same time, he just sounds like he's yelling. It's not a good mixture, and I'm a fan of either or, really. I don't like the yell, the like tonal yell. I think it sounds bad, especially in something like this, you know, where it's kind of pretty music in the background. But that's the first one. Lake of Tears, number 1. Number 2. A record let down by the production. This is Delirium with Zoo, or Zoo, I don't have no idea. This is a weird title, but it's from 1990. It is kind of a doomy death metal band from, like I said, the Netherlands, and it's got a great album cover there. This is how you spell that, that album title. Really cool looking disc though. I really like this orange with just their logo there. It's a really cool look. But yeah, this is just really, really good stuff. Lots of really good Celtic frosty riffs, but the production is awful. It is so flat. The vocals are really quiet. The drums have no oomph to them, which, you know, it's 1990 in Northern Europe. I would kind of expect that out of something like this. But at the same time, it's a disappointment, but okay. Delirium. Next, number 3, a band that suffers from a weak member. This is one that I could have put at number 1 as well. This is Sepultura, and this is Against. This is so bad. Derek Green, or whatever his name is one of the worst vocalists I've ever heard, especially following up Max Cavalera on those first couple, what is it, like 5 or 6 Sepultura releases. But this is just so bad. Beyond the fact that it's just nu metal groovy garbage, on top of his terrible vocal change, I don't understand how anybody could still take this band seriously. Number 4, an album that defines heavy. I never shut up about this band. You could ask my girlfriend. I reference it constantly. This is Suffocation's Effigy of the Forgotten. I adore everything about this band. This is my favorite Suffocation album. It is just top shelf stuff. I have 2 copies of this. One of them's in my car as a backup, and it's something that gets played a lot because of it. You know, you don't feel like bringing stuff into the car, going to pick something out. You just go to the truck and take off. Got this in there. I have Cannibal Corpse's Eaten Back to Life, the 2nd copy, and yeah, that's pretty much all I got in there. But man, you guys have all heard that. It's just, it's heavy enough to put out the sun, man. That's about it. Number 5, an album that was recommended by the YouTube community. Now, I actually got into Chromium Dioxide Radio via this metal tag earlier this year when he did his, and ever since then I've been binge watching, and he regularly mentions this band Helix. This is the album Walking on the Razor's Edge. he referenced it a bunch, and like he did like a Lego cartoon of himself and all the characters in the show kind of being at like a strip club or something. It was funny. And he had a Helix t-shirt on, and I'm like, you know what? That's the last straw. I'm going to go check it out. And the opening to this record, the song Rock You, is so fun. This is like some really anthemic kind of anthemic AOR type stuff. It's just really, really fun. It's definitely got some heavy metal tinges, but it's definitely the one that toes the line between those two styles, and it's really, really, really awesome. This is the full remaster version from 2009. Big fan of some Helix. If that sounded interesting to you, go check that one out. Number 6. An album that took your taste in a new direction. This is like Kelvedstanger. I have no clue how to pronounce it. By Ulver. It is the second Ulver album, and it is pure gold. There's not a lick of metal on here. It is straight up folk, and it is so good. The multi-part harmonies in this, mixed with all of the different stylings of guitars going on at the same time. There's a lot of classical stuff, lots of nylon strings, but there's a really, really powerful set of voices going on all at once, and it's a really powerful harmony that it creates. And the kind of neoclassical aspects of everything else going on in here really made me appreciate a lot more of the folky stuff that I listen to. It made me really appreciate like a European style folk, because, you know, I grew up with country and stuff, country and classic metal, as I've mentioned before, but I've never heard anything European folk music aside from, you know, polka, but that's not folk music. So Oliver really opened that door for me into getting into some other kinds of neo-folk stuff like this. And I'm a huge fan of it, and I love Oliver for it because, oh man, so good. Oh man, number 7, a gem in your collection. This is a friggin' score. It's not, you know, it's not the most expensive item in my collection or anything, but that obviously doesn't matter. But it is a pretty rare thing to get a hold of, and it's something that I got for real cheap, if not free, if I remember right. But it is the early, I believe it's the first U.S. press, the Combat Records of Merciful Fates Don't Break the Oath from '84. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Let me pull it on out for you. These anti-static plastic sleeves. Yeah, old school Combat label. Thin, flimsy stuff. Yeah, look at that. Somebody like rested their drink on the LP. Somebody's, yeah, I don't know who could possibly have ever done something like that in their right mind. I would imagine they were rather intoxicated, maybe jealous that they don't have the ability to sing like King Diamond. I really don't know. But I'm going to show you everything on here. Oh, there's no inner sleeve, but you know. Actually, it might be. Yes, there is. Sorry, I'm an idiot. So this is the original inner sleeve, and thanks to that original, or that anti-static sleeve, it is still in relatively good shape. It's not perfect. It's got some creases and some nastiness to it. But you guys know very well this is an absolute classic. And this old pressing sells for a decent amount of money on Discogs. And I'm very glad to have it. I might have gotten it for like $8, maybe even less than that, if I didn't just get this handed to me by the guy at the local record store. Because that's happened a couple of times. Especially, he had stuff like hung up on the walls that I wanted, and he just handed it over to me before, so that's cool. Merciful Fate. Number 8, the band formed closest to my locality. Now, beyond the fact that I am now part of this band, I wasn't going to choose them because of that fact, but I'm going to do it anyway. This is Triguna. It's the first album, Embryonic Forms, their EP, Maladaptive. Their second full-length, Gratifying Severed Hearts, third full-length, Mark of Sacrifice, and their newest EP, Candied Lemons, of which I play the keyboards and do the vocals for. So I'm just going to show that one. Good stuff, man. So these are just good buddies of mine. Actually, one of my best friends is the main guy behind this, and it's just really fun. weird kind of progressive death metal. Lots of weird stuff, lots of Gorguts influence, if you like that, also right. They're working on a really dissonant record right now that they're still writing, and obviously I just put layers over the top, so whenever that's done, I will do something about it, but man, Trigun. Next, number 9, an album that I reached for melody-wise. Winter Sun's Time 1. Winter Sun is such a good band. Underappreciated, underloved. People are talking crap because he already kind of sucks as a dude. I really don't care. But some of the melodies on here are so good. The riffs are so cool. The soundscape is great. The soundscape on this band, or from this band, is something so epic and kind of ethereal that you can't even begin to really describe it properly. It's just an awesome, I mean, look at the album cover. It really looks kind of like that. It looks like some kind of magical kind of forest full of weird lights and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's really, really cool. I'm sure you guys have all heard that. Next, record in your collection that you would sell first, number 10. So this is a progressive metal band from, this album's from 95. It's their only release. This is Gates of Eternity by Dionysus. I picked this up at Goodwill, and it is selling for like over $100 on Discogs right now. And I've listened to it like 3 times, and it's okay. It's really nothing cool, nothing beyond cool for me. It's out on Twin Dragon Recordings, but yeah, I would sell this first, you know, flip a quick 100 on there and then spend it on another lot from Discogs. Why not, man? That's what it'd be good for at this point for me. But yeah, it's a cool addition to the collection. Maybe I'll appreciate it more one day. Let's see. 11. Which subgenre would be deleted? Which subgenre of metal would be deleted? Now, I absolutely hate industrial metal so much. This is the only band that I care to let slide in the slightest, and it's not even all that industrial. There's lots of crap going on, but I would call this more of a groove metal band. I absolutely loathe that genre, and it has ruined so many things. It has ruined Samael, Ulver, Covenant, Mortis, all these different bands that were just producing absolute gold up until the introduction of this cancerous tumor of a genre called industrial metal. It infuriates me to see what happened to these bands after, you know, these terrible, terrible bands from the United States got really, really popular. And it's just, ugh. Goodbye, industrial metal. Good riddance. Now, 12. A band or album you want a reissue from in 2021. Now, I would like all of the Mert Drive material reissued because it is an absolute pain to get anything at a good price. You can get it, but I don't want to spend $40 on one disc. I hate doing that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, it happens, but I'm not a big fan. But yeah, Mert Drive and the album Trollska Skromt Og, that one, whatever that one is. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it is one phenomenal piece of epic kind of black Viking metal. Very, very good. Cool, clean vocals, really good folky elements. It's just such a good album. And honestly, I don't think I've ever heard anybody mention Murkrov. At least not on YouTube in my immediate recollection. So get on that reissue, Murkrov. I'd appreciate that. Next, a comeback from an 80s band, number 13. I mean, you guys probably could have put a little list together if you guys know my taste enough as to what band hasn't made an album from the 80s. It's gotta be Sabotage, man. How did you know?
I was guessing. Sabotage is gotta be.
So how I never shut up about Suffocation, I apparently never shut up about Sabotage either. Which, you know, makes sense. But I chose not the one that I always talk about, but Power of the Night this time. This is a great one. I really, really like this. They got more and more progressive as time went along. So I would really be intrigued to see what Mr. Olivia would have going on in this time. But yeah, Sabotage. Gotta get him back in the recording studio. I know he's busy with Trans-Siberian Orchestra or whatever he's up to these days, but man, gotta make it happen. So, number 14, an alternate album cover. Now, you know my opinion on Grind, but this is a classic. Recaputrefaction. This is the real cover, absolutely repugnant as usual. And this is the laughably bad censored cover. A Goodwill find, nonetheless, which is hilarious that this is at Goodwill. This is also, there was some exhumed, so there's a grinder around it. I don't even know about them. But, yeah, this is an awful album cover, but it's really cool stuff. I tried watching this Pathologist Report thing, the DVD. Talk about nap time, man. I would probably get more hyped watching the PGA finale than watching that. But Carcass, Recaputrefaction's reissue. Number 15, a band that defines metal. I mean, I kind of tossed around a couple different things for this one. I heard people say Manowar, and I 100% could get into that. I'm sure people say Judas Priest and stuff like that, but for me, it's got to be Dark Throne. This band has really spanned all the genres that, I mean, not all the genres, but between the two guys that are in the band, they've spanned the majority of metal genres, being, you know, starting off as a death metal band, then the black metal band, and then little bits of doom, and then this weird album being Goat Lord. I guess it's a demo that they turn into an album. But this is really the most weird and out there one, I think. This is just goofy death metal music with weird vocals all over it. You guys have heard it. But, you know, they get the crusty stuff. They get the doom metal parts. They get the traditional metal parts. And it's all got this great little pinches of Darkthrone put over the top of it. It's a great band. Every one of their albums is good to me. I don't adore this one. It's good. It's okay. But it gets played like once every 5 years. It's just goofy stuff. But if I'm going to have to do an album that's not in the original, you know, like the obvious first 5, Hate Them is an absolute great record. People hate FOAD. I'm also a big fan of that. The new stuff, not as awesome as that crusty stuff, which is weird because I'm not a huge punk guy, but Dark Throne's great. Next, 16, the most metallic album cover. Now, I was going to be a smart aleck and use the censored album cover of that Behemoth record from a few records ago. But I landed on this because you guys know my opinion. If you have dragons, I'm going to listen. And Twilight Force with Tales of Ancient Prophecies. How much more metal does it get than a dude blocking, what looks to be a dwarf, blocking dragon's flames with an iron sword at the top of a tower surrounded by mist with a castle in the background? I'll wait. I don't know how long I need to wait, but I'm done because there's no way you're going to top it. And this is about as metal as it gets, man. Twilight Force, some Swedish metal, Swedish symphonic power metal. You guys know my opinions on Rhapsody and the likes. This is basically Rhapsody, but in the modern age, and a little bit more Swedish. You know, there's a noticeable Swedish melody to it. But yeah, this has got to be my most metal cover I could think of. Next, 17. A record you disliked first and now love. This is an EP, so I'm kind of cheating just a hair. But I don't care. It's Harmony by Skyforce, the Russian band. I'm an enormous fan of the full-length The Unity, which is right behind me there, and I love that from the start. So I just straight up bought that, Aftermath, and this one, and I don't have the newest full-length, which I believe is actually before this one, but this is more of like a straight-up kind of shoegaze record. And that's not really anything I've gotten super into. Obviously, this art is beautiful. I mean, this whole kind of, I don't want to call it extraterrestrial, but kind of over-the-top, extra fantasy style that Skyforce puts into here is beautiful. I'm an enormous fan. Oh, I didn't notice this is almost the same set of trees on this one and this one. But yeah, it's like a straight-up shoegaze album. It's limited to 1,000 copies, and it's got an awful lot of cool atmospheres to it. It's really somber, kind of depressive. And it's a good record. I mean, everybody's always talking about this, like, new wave type thing. This, like, new wave of synth pop that's been going on. Not my shtick, but this is kind of close to that. So if you like that kind of stuff, maybe get into that. Skyforce. Harmony. 18, an album you used to like but now disregard. I don't want to say I completely disregard this as much as I just don't care to listen to it really anymore. But I really loved this band in high school. I don't really listen to it at all anymore, but this is Lamb of God with the album Sacrament. This is something I adored for a long time. I mean, the first several songs, like Walk With Me in Hell, Again We Rise, Redneck, Pathetic, Foot to the Throat, and then I don't care about too much about Descending, but, you know, Black and the Cursed Sun, More Time to Kill, Requiem. It's a great record. I mean, it's kind of that metalcore. People call them metalcore. I always hated calling them that because it's such a bad description because of the negative connotation of which goes with metalcore, being, you know, the Bring Me the Horizon and stuff like that. But so I'm just gonna call it a groove metal band, like, you know, Pantera. But it's good. I just don't care about it. I don't care to listen to it as much. I'll throw it on occasionally, and it's usually for only a track or two. Like the opening Walk With Me in Hell, it's great. Or like if I was gonna go see a band and they were like opening with them or something, I'll see it. It'll be cool. 19, a metal band who deserves more recognition. So this is a Canadian depressive black metal band from Pinkerton, Ontario. This is Begotten with a Waning Silhouette, signed by the whole band. If you haven't heard these guys, you should definitely go check this out. On Bandcamp, they have a deal where you get 2 t-shirts, a patch, and all 4 of their CDs for some like super cheap price. I think it's like 60 bucks Canadian. So if you're American, you're getting that thing for like 50. Oh man, you gotta be goofed not to. 2 t-shirts, 4 CDs, and a patch. You gotta be nuts. But yeah, they're all signed. It's great. This ending, or second to last song on here, Nostalgist, super epic stuff. It's got these great clean vocals to it. It's got, I'm just like a sucker for anything with clean vocals and fast drumming, like the Lotus Eater by Opeth, where there's that blast beat, and he's like clean singing over it, and then he's got this kind of groove riff that it goes in between the two, and he's doing the death growl. Sounds so good. And this is kind of that type of feel with the fast drumming and the clean vocals and these great melancholic kind of depressive black metal riffs in the background. Begotten, go check them out, please. And the last thing, a #1 grail for 2021. I really want to get the collection box set by Manigarm. Manigarm being, I believe, Swedish black metal, folk black metal band. It's their whole discography up to 2018, so I believe they have one more release after this whole collection box set came out. But it's like 8 discs, and it's something I'll probably wind up scrounging up the gumption to get. And yeah, so that'll be it for my metal tag here. Sorry I'm a little late. I didn't even know this was happening, because when this came out, I really wasn't watching a lot of metal YouTube stuff. But I have since watched most of them, especially all the ones from people that I regularly watch. And yeah, if you haven't done it, feel free. It's better late than never, man. So keep it greasy. Take care.